Have you ever wondered why we exchange our curiosity and wonder from our childhood for the condemnation of walking into adulthood? What is it about becoming older or becoming less childlike that we begin to look at ourselves from this place of either failure or success, or not enough or more than enough by the things that we achieve or the things that we do, while actually forsaking who we actually were made to be? What if we went back to our childhood and realized we were never supposed to die as children and become adults? We were actually supposed to allow what we became as a child to come into relationship with our adulthood, that we could be childlike and still wonder about ourselves while we're still navigating an adult world. This is what happens when we get deprogrammed and dehumanized as we go from childhood to adolescence to adulthood. We enter into a world where we now play by everybody else's rules, when those rules weren't based on the authenticity, the uniqueness, and the nature of my being created as who I am. What if we actually recalibrated how we actually walked in our own bodies, in our own minds, and our own emotions? And then we got to wonder and play in the sand in the world without having to live by anybody else's rules, except for the ones that actually works for me, where I get to be so curious about what does it look like for me to do what I'm passionate about without thinking about how much it makes, but how much joy it actually brings me. What would it look like for me to choose a relationship not from lacking or codependency or demanding? What would it look like to have love as a gift instead of something that's forced upon me? Otherwise, I'm less than who I am by the world that judges me. What would it look like that whenever I experience pain, I could ask myself, where did this come from? Instead of projecting it onto everybody else, that if they don't fix it or if they don't create a world where I don't experience pain, which is absolutely impossible, then no one is safe with me, when the most unsafest person with me is me, when we operate in condemnation. I think it would be such an exciting journey if all of us had this opportunity to give away and return our condemnation that we inherited when we transitioned into adulthood, to go back to a place of wonder that we received in our childhood. And as we are living as adults, we can have adventure and remain on the playground instead of sacrificing it for our battleground, where we end up losing every time we don't meet the world's expectation that's unrealistic to me being who I am. In this new curriculum, Human by Design, this is what we walk through as we rediscover our humanity. How do you get your wonder back? What would it look like for you to operate in curiosity that keeps your heart open instead of walking in condemnation that keeps it closed?